Next, we're going to talk about variables, which is something we'll use all the time when we're coding. Variables are simply names that we can give to values such as strings, numbers, and booleans. We use variables to store information that the computer can keep track of. So here's how we declare a variable named str with the value hello world, the string. Let's take a look and see if we can figure out what the other variables below mean. So we see that stir is declared with the value hello world. This next one, the variable x, is declared with the integer value 88. This next one, the variable happy, is declared with the Boolean value true. If we take a look below, we can see that these variables are not printed out to the console over here because we're not using a print line statement or a write line statement. Instead, the variable just simply stores the string, number, or Boolean into the computer's memory. The only reason that we have this additional output over here is letting us know that these variables aren't used in the code. So let's take a look at these variables in other statements. For example, the following code would print out Hello Nuevo Foundation to the console. So in these two strings, we have hello stored in string 1 or str1 and Nuevo Foundation stored in string 2 or stir2. So now when we do console.writeLine with a space in between the two, we see that Hello Nuevo Foundation is printed out. You can also change the value of a variable at any time using the equal or a silent operator again. If you're changing the value of a variable, you don't need to use var again. For example, hola will be printed out instead of hello. So we can see that the value of stir or string is changed from hello to hola. And then when we write it out using console.writeLine, hola gets printed. Here's another example. 10 will be printed instead of 9. So we use the variable num, which is set equal to the integer value of 9. Then when we do num equals num plus 1, where num is 9, we are changing num to equal 10. So when we console.writeLine, 10 is printed out. Note that you cannot replace a string variable with a number or a boolean. And similarly for other combinations. The following example of code will not work. You always have to have the same variable type when you're replacing one value with another. For example, happy has been declared as a string variable, and so you cannot set happy to 9. As you can see, we get a compiler error saying you cannot implicitly convert type int to string. Another way to declare variables is to replace the var with the type, string, int, bool, etc., of the variable you are creating. By declaring the type explicitly, you can avoid the problem we see above. For example, hello world is a string, 88 is an int, and true is a bool. You have to remember here that these are special keywords in C#, so you cannot create variables with those names. So let's take a look at this code below and see if we can play around with it. We're going to create two new variables. One is a variable named comp that stores the string computer, and a variable named 5 that stores the number 5. Then we will use the variables to print out console.writeLine, which is console.writeLine, the following to the console. Let's try to do this using the variables. We will use the plus or concatenator operator to combine strings together and to also add numbers together. Okay, so I'm going to first declare my variables. We can do var comp equal to computer. And remember, as we learned above, this could be var or this could be string, either way. And the second one is a variable named 5, which stores the value 5 in it. And again, this could be var or this could be int. I'm going to declare them directly as their types. That way we don't run into any potential issues later. Now we're going to do some write line statements. So console.writeLine. The first one just wants us to print out the word computer. So that's not too bad. We just print out the variable comp, which will evaluate to computer. Next, it just wants us to print out 5. So console.writeLine 5. Cool. So now we're going to get a little more complicated. We want computer to be printed out twice. So we're going to use the concatenation operator to combine that string together. So console.writeLine comp plus comp. We don't have to worry about using the same variable multiple times inside of a print line statement. It's just going to go into the computer's memory and grab the same thing each time. The next one will be console.writeLine. We want it to be 10, which is 5 plus 5. So we can do 5 plus 5. And that should give us 10. Lastly, we're going to do the same thing 3 times. So console.writeLine comp plus comp plus comp should give us computer, computer, computer. And then with 15, it will be 5 plus 5 plus 5. So console.writeLine 5 plus 5 plus 5. Let's run the code and verify if we are correct. Computer 5, computer, computer 10, computer, computer, computer 15. Awesome. Let's move on.